This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Icon podcast. I see that intro hyped you up, Chuck. Thanks for the enthusiasm. I'm your host, Gianna. Excited to get to know you today. Chuck has been so awesome, so gracious, so patient with me. I had to cancel on him, stand him up because of that weekend I caught on fire, not to be dramatic. So, Chuck, thank you for rejoining, rescheduling. Excited to get to know you.
Thank you for surviving the fire. We can meet here.
My pleasure. Of course. I am excited too about that. So, Chuck, let's hear your story here, your background. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you get into real estate?
Well, I always call real estate the island of misfit toys because very few people wake up at the age of 6 go, I cannot wait to be a realtor. I want to do realty.
I'm going to steal that phrase from you.
Yeah, it is. It's the island of misfit toys. You got thrown out of something else. You failed at something else. You were terrible at something else. You couldn't stand doing something else. So you went into real estate. So that's my path. I know I only look 35, but I was actually a policeman for 25 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I medically retired. And actually, when you were talking about your fire story, my catastrophic, I was a motor cop and I had a catastrophic motorcycle crash. I was in the hospital for about a month. And
wow.
My first question when I woke up in the hospital was, how's my motorcycle? Is it okay? How do I look? Do I look okay? I didn't care about the rest. But anyways,
I relate to that. I was telling you, I was sobbing to my mom about how ugly it was.
I know. I mean, we get it. It's all about presentation. It's all about presentation. So I did that job for 25 years, and as it didn't end so well, as you can hear. Retired, went into stand-up comedy for 5 years. And I don't know if you've ever researched this career field. To anyone who's failing at real estate, I highly recommend you take up a job in stand-up comedy because it pays so well. So I'd travel all over the country, mostly the upper Midwest for, $200 for a weekend. I mean, it's crazy. You barely break even, but it's so fun. So between law enforcement and then comedy, I kind of found the perfect thing. And I always joke, and it's kind of a grim joke, I guess I won't even say, but the joke was I can either hit the enter button on real estate classes or take another option, which was pretty depressing. I just been through a divorce and I decided to go into real estate, and why not? So here I was at the age of, 47, brand new realtor, but I had a skill set that was perfect for real estate. Difficult people, contracts, negotiation, answering your phone in half a second, being available all the time, all the things that really are law enforcement, only I don't get shot at as much in real estate. And it's, I mean,
I hope not.
Well, as much.
Who my new neighbors were, so I guess you never know.
Yeah, things happen, but it was just a perfect fit. So I kind of went into it begrudgingly as a last minute thing to do. And it really took off. I didn't do much for the first 6 months because I had already been promoting myself with law enforcement and comedy. So I didn't want to push one more thing on people. And I realized you can't be a secret agent. So I started pushing one more thing on people, and bam, I did nothing for 6 months. But in my 6th month, I had 4 closings. And I kept going, well, this is a fluke. And it never stopped fluking. So, I was the rookie of the year. I was kind of one of those big box brokerages. I guess we're kind of a big box brokerage. Not really. We're not in a box, but we're a big brokerage. But I was with one of the other big ones. You all know it. Half of you are from there and did great. But I'm not number 2. I was the number 2 agent when I left. I'm not number 2. I'm not that good. I want to be around better people. I want to level up. So I left, went to a little baby brokerage, and that baby brokerage folded into EXP, which has been the best choice of my life, to get dragged over to EXP kicking and screaming. And I love it. So I run a team.
That was tell me a little more about that story, because that's my next question anyway. Like, how are you introduced to EXP? Obviously, it looks like your brokerage integrated into it, but how did they pitch that to you guys? And how did you make the decision to go along with it instead of taking another route?
I love that story. I love that question. And I think it's an important one. And the broker tells the story too. So I went to a little baby brokerage. Some of you may have heard of it. It's called Bright Birch. Noelle Nielsen was the founder of Bright Birch. She's a big influencer and attractor in EXP. And there were about 13 of us. And I ran a team there. I went down to Florida with my wife. I'm like, I hate Florida, but I'll go on this trip with you. End up in Florida, go, oh my God, I love this place. I need to work here. I need to live here. So I went back from that trip and told my broker, get your license in Florida, or I'm going to be like Bright Birch, Minnesota, and Sotheby's, Florida. She goes, it's funny. So I was just that close to switching us over to EXP, and that's the push we needed. So then we booked a trip the next day. We went to EXP shareholders, and we signed up, and that was it. But going back to answer your question, I'm rambling. I guess I'm the guest. I can ramble, right?
You're fine. Yeah, absolutely. That's what the podcast is all about, right?
Yeah, man. So, I've been approached by everybody. I'm sure most of you watching this are interested in being icons, have been approached by every brokerage trying to recruit them. And one of the brokerages that tried to recruit me was an EXP agent, oddly, because they're into some agent attraction occasionally. And I saw the model. I'm like, yeah, it works. It's better than the model I'm at. It was the same model, just a little better. So if that tells you which brokerage I was at the time. I go, yeah, it works. I'm not really ready to make the switch. That online world of yours is kind of odd. Yeah, I'm good. And I went to the baby brokerage. So had the baby brokerage not switched all of us over to EXP, I would have never gone. I'm really loyal to my employers. 2 employers in 25 years of law enforcement.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around. But it has been the best decision of her life, my broker's life, let alone mine. And it's been great. So
awesome.
I wouldn't have done it. I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad.
That's a great story of getting connected to EXP. And, you said, hey, I'm not jumping over that technology. That's not me. That's kind of silly. But now that you're over here, right, and you're utilizing it, what has become one of your favorite parts of EXP? Why do you choose to stay other than that sense of loyalty?
Well, for example, the world that I hated so much and thought was hokey, I just got out of. I wandered into the Florida broker room. I met with the designated managing broker of the 14,000 Florida agents, sat at a table with her and brainstormed a solution to a crap situation I'm in the middle of on a closing today. Which, how do you do that anywhere else? So tech to me is the biggest. We use a CRM provider. Well, I can drop names here, but we use KV Core like crazy, and is our business. We call, text, promote, put everyone on drip campaigns and behavior automation. It has made our business. It has absolutely made our business. So everything that EXP provides in terms of tech to me is the most important thing. Secondary is, of course, the compensation. We all know. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the model explained, but everything there is it. I love EXP. Everything about it. Stock. Express offers I'm part of. I brought an investor into Express offers, so there's another revenue source. I've got a pretty decent line of FLQAs. There's another revenue source. It just goes on and on and on and on. So love this.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, EXP is wonderful, and there are a lot of benefits. You kind of touched on the collaboration, the stock options, rev share, everything else that has to come with it. And, before we dive deeper into the Icon Award, Chuck, let's talk a little bit about you and this so-called work-life balance that everybody's chasing. How do you draw the line between work and play and set those boundaries for yourself? How do you recharge?
That is a great question. I think every time you level up, to some extent, you have to build in some safeguards for you. So once you're an individual agent, you're producing, 30 transactions or so. If you haven't let go and given your work over to a transaction coordinator and an admin, do that. And then once you realize that 30 transactions you can't keep up, then you need to start a team. And every time you do these things, you level up to the transaction coordinator, and then you start a team, and then your team grows. And maybe my team's in 3 states actually, but every time it grows, you add another layer so you can just step back a little bit. I do production for friends, and I do production for if things are just a little slow that month, or I just feel a need to kind of insert myself into the business a little bit. But it's kind of an option at this point, which is great, and that has allowed me to step back a little bit. So I think that's a great question. Work-life balance is a myth in real estate, but I have managers within the team that handle mentoring, that handle contracts for new agents, so that I'm usually like the fourth call they have to make. It still pisses my wife off all the time. Hello, hold on one second. But it's what you do, and I think I have some pretty good work-life balance this week, but it varies. It varies.
Absolutely. Work-life balance, you said it's a myth in the industry. And so, you got to be chasing something to be able to recharge. And, even if it's just as far as boundaries versus a work-life balance, do it. And Chuck, when it comes to iconing, the pretty cool thing about EXP, since you're in 2 states, is that you get to both use the cap for both states, right? So it's all just one cap, $16,000, 20 transactions after that. So that being said, I imagine that maybe the housing prices are a little different between Minnesota and Florida. So on average, about what are those housing prices like in each state, and how many houses do you have to sell to be able to cap?
Yeah, I kind of use the informal formula of about 12 houses. The prices are actually fairly similar right now. Florida's really leveled up in price, and I think it's actually surpassed Minnesota in terms of the median sale price. But they're 2 totally different markets. Although half my people in Florida are from Minnesota. So it is kind of the same people too on that level. So about 12 or 13 as the team leader, I have to do a full cap, 16K. And 12 or 13. And then of course the icon, it's another roughly 20 transactions. So, about 29, 30. I'm a nervous wreck after my cap reset for about 6 weeks. I always cap after 6. It seems to be the magic week. And then I'm a really nervous wreck until I icon, and that's usually another 4 months, I think. And there's always a delay, as you icons know. It just doesn't quite. Oh, bam, you icon. There's the ticker tape parade for you. So.
Absolutely. No, I totally get what you're saying, Chuck. And then, when it comes to iconing, it's more than just production. You've got a cultural commitment in there too. So mentorship, teaching in EXP world, vetting other icons. There's several different avenues you can take for that. So which one do you choose and why?
Well, I love it. They just changed it, as I'm sure someone has talked about, some of your guests have talked about, and you could kind of, it's a point system, or you can opt into the point system. So I opt into the point system, which I like. So I'm going to teach some classes. I've signed up for some classes for the Florida group. I would love to interview new icons, and if I can get in that path, I'd love to. And I've been doing the icon panels, which have been great, but there are just so many icons, and we're only like 2 to 3% of the company, but it's a lot of people. So we started seeing the same people on some of the panels, and I decided to kind of try something new.
There's about I think at shareholders, Glenn had said there's about 2,400 icons at this moment. So only top 2%, but still, you put 2,400 people in a room, that's a pretty good chunk of people.
Well, 2,400 iconing realtors. Do you think they're talking about themselves? We love talking about ourselves. That's why we're on your podcast. We love this. So you put all 2,400 of us in a room. My God, it's so.
Yep. A lot happens.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, you get a lot of benefits from being an icon agent. Easy to catch referrals. You've got this elite status. You're easily trusted. A big glass shiny trophy. You get your cap back in stock. Opportunities go to EXPCon and shareholders. So, with all of that in mind, what is your favorite thing about iconing? Why do you continue to set that on your list of goals?
Honestly, it's the very real fiscal benefits that come from it. I love getting the money back. Who wouldn't? I love that it forces me to go to 2 conferences a year that I might not otherwise go to. It's like, well, I'm going to go.
Encourages you. Doesn't
encourages me. I told myself I'm going to do at least 2 conferences a year, and I need to do 4 because I feel you need to spread. I'd love to do Inman and some others. But I think that makes sure that I am going to a conference, which is great because I think it's so important. And I love the EXP conferences. There's just no energy like that anywhere in the world. But on top of that, once you get that little icon badge in your world, people just give you a different look. If you jump in a thread and you go, I'm an icon agent, I'll take that referral. I'm an icon agent. Here's my thought on this. People listen. And I think that's great. I come from a career of law enforcement. We were all about ranking up and putting things on our uniforms, talking about how important we were. And it's kind of in my blood. Yeah, I feel like it's a little collar brass for me.
Yeah.
I'm an icon agent. But I've gotten a ton of referrals through the icon group and a ton of referrals through all the referral groups just by having the icon logo.
Awesome. Yeah, as it should be, right? They trust you to get that sell in, take care of that person. I mean, you gather a reputation. You don't just become an icon agent when you're, commission hungry. And Chuck, for people that are either new to EXP or new to real estate coming over to EXP, is it going to be possible for them to icon in their first year? What does that goal look like for them as far as daily activities or big mistakes to avoid?
I think it just reinforces, first of all, find an icon agent and ask them how they got there. And they will all tell you that it's about consistency and it's about never giving up and it's about drive and it's about a formula, like a formula for your day from the minute you wake up, what you're time blocking, what you're doing, what activities you're doing, even if you don't feel the results that day. And if you can stick to that formula, you will succeed. And I'm thinking of a couple of agents on my team. One, we used to call him Eeyore because, well, I did this deal. Figures, they backed up, they canceled. And I kept saying, be patient. Like you are doing everything you need to do. Be patient. Be patient. It's going to pay off. And he's on my team, and on a team you can pick icon or not. He's iconed. This will be a second year in a row where he's iconed as my number one agent, and just seeing his growth and like his ability to stick through all those Eeyore moments, and now he's like one of my go-to people, and he helps train the team, and he's a go-to resource. So I think if people can follow a formula, because there is nothing truly new in real estate. So attach yourself to someone who's good, find out how they got there, do exactly what they did that is within your reason to do, you will succeed. It's that simple. Real estate, none of us are brilliant. That's why we're realtors. Follow the formula. You'll make money. Period.
Absolutely. Love that, Chuck. Great advice. And, coming up on my last question here as we're approaching 20 minutes, it's a 2-part question. And the first question being, were you ever skeptical of EXP when you heard about it or were kind of considering brokerages in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the one I was with was EXP came out of that. I've talked to Glenn about this. Mm-hmm. It is the model that created EXP. And so EXP was a little better. I'm like, yeah, I'm comfortable. It's okay. And even though the culture at the other place wasn't my culture, yeah, I'm okay. I just don't like change. So it was an opportunity that I probably would have let go had not the other pieces fallen in place. And I think that's something to keep in mind. So as I do agent attraction too, and we've all heard Brent Gove talk about agent attraction and what it takes to get someone over. It takes a while. You just have to let it cook. And everyone always says, they're gonna come over. It's not if, it's when.
Right.
And just let it sit and don't go chasing them. They'll come around. They're gonna see all their colleagues come over. I mean, I don't look at myself as recruiting. I am truly attracting agents. I met with 2 agents last week for dinner. I'm like, yeah, when you're ready, you come, but you are missing out. And I love this. I absolutely love this. I'm just so full of energy for this company.
Yeah, it's like not even that you're recruiting, you're just representing the company, and it attracts agents. I like that word the best. The people here are what attracts agents most, and it's a flagship. Like you said, it's not if, it's when. And Chuck, on that note, right, maybe there's somebody that's on the fence about coming to EXP, but they hear it's a cult, it's a pyramid scheme, but they see the greener grass, they're just so nervous. So what would you have to say to them to kind of light a a fire underneath them to make that switch, cut that cord, and get over here?
Make a list. Do it in any relationship you're having, the do's and don'ts, what are the pluses and minuses, any big decision you're making, like, should I buy that Lamborghini? Should I buy that boat? Make the pros and cons. Do the same thing with EXP. And if it's the money and it's usually the money, sadly, because there's so much more to this company than money, but obviously most agents are just concerned with the money. If it's just the money, chart it out and chart out Remax and Keller and Coldwell. And if you're up by me, Edina Realty, put them all on a chart and chart it out with 5 transactions and 30 transactions and 60 transactions and all the benefits, and see for yourself the numbers, because you will have a really hard time beating EXP. And all things being equal, if you find someone that beats EXP, I challenge you to find a company with better tech for $85 a month. And from the perspective of a team leader and recruiting, it's a no-brainer. I couldn't recruit people to Remax at $500 a desk. I can recruit people to EXP at $85 a desk with all this stuff.
Absolutely. That's it. So well said, Chuck. And that's pretty much it for today. I think it's been an awesome episode. Boom, 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 done. Do you have anything to leave the listeners with today as we wrap it up?
Just do it. Yeah, we do this a lot at some of the sprint events. And they always have the sign up, burn the boats. If no one knows this saying, I'll save you the long story, but it talks about untethering yourself from the things holding you back. Give yourself the incentive to move forward, so you can't turn around and grab onto that lifeline. You have to charge forward. And that's what it's about, whether it's changing brokerages, joining a team, or making that big decision. Burn the boats. So burn the boats, come to EXP, burn the boats. Find your mentor or your hero at EXP, follow the formula, make some money.
That's right. I love that. I love that, Chuck. Well, I guess you're forced to go to EXPCon, so I don't need to ask you anything about that. But thank you so much for joining me today. It was an awesome episode, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. And if you guys are interested, you think Chuck is somebody you're going to vibe with, or at least he'll make you laugh, reach out to him, ask him questions about EXP, and, maybe join his team, or at least let him be your sponsor, or, you don't have to be, but it's all about attraction and everybody wins. So reach out, ask your questions, and it's not if, it's when. So do it, baby. Awesome. Thanks, Chuck. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success, and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.